What's up, everybody? Harvest TCG here, back with another video. Welcome back to the channel. Want to talk a little bit this week about some of the changes that are coming to Metazoo following the announcement last week from GameCubator Labs and Aaron, the former Pokemon vice president, about Metazoo basically relaunching and reimagining itself. What will stay is the name Metazoo, but they more or less announced that the gameplay is going to be revamped, redone, and that there's going to be a new base set coming in Q1 2025, which caught a lot of the community by surprise. I think it's more than what a lot of people anticipated. I mean, I know some had speculated that the gameplay would be changing, that there was going to be a big need for that. And yeah, I mean, as a former player myself, I kind of agree with that. The game was kind of, convoluted and overly complex, not really intuitive, I loved the game, don't get me wrong. I really did, and I still enjoy playing it from time to time if I can find somebody to play it with. But there's certainly a need for it to be simplified. And, like if you've played Magic the Gathering, I mean, you would know that the game is kind of like janky Magic with a couple more complexities on the color wheel. Like with the gameplay having 10 aura types, I think it's super fun. Like it leads to some really fun deck building, some real cool concepts in the flavor pie. But yeah, like it's not I don't know, like what about, like, here, speaking of UFO, which is what I'm ripping right now, the spellbook, like Cosmic in the game, right? Cosmic, it has no on the weaknesses and advantages wheel chart, it has no weakness, right? Whereas like water, if I remember correctly, is 3 weaknesses. So there was some strange imbalances from the get. And plus, with Metazoo more or less being like unglued from Magic the Gathering, the game, it's not really, I don't know, it just kind of borrowed a lot from Magic. But I mean, of course, that's the standard in trading card games. But nevertheless, yeah, the game was kind of complex, and there was always going to be a need as a player to kind of have one of these little things with you. If anything, for these symbols and the traits. Like, these are not intuitive, right? Like invisible, magic proof, regen, self-destruct. Like some of these are kind of have a clear magic. And what about venomous? Like there's nothing kind of like that. And by the way, that was an underrated and underutilized trait. But I mean, some of them have Magic the Gathering equivalents, and some of them, don't. So there's really, like, if you just saw that fear symbol, for example, I mean, you wouldn't really know what that is, right? Like equipment, sure. Even the fleet symbol, like haste or flight, those are intuitive, but infectious and venomous and destroyer, I mean. And by the way, Burrow is so busted, right, from the gameplay. And that's coming from somebody whose favorite deck, or at least in the competitive meta, was the Worms deck, right? So there's always this need to have this thing with you, which was fun and not, right? Like the convolution kind of led to some complexity and nuances in the game. That was fun. But there were just a few cards that, I don't know, they were... I mean, there's more than a few. There were quite a few cards that were just like, you read them and you're like, what? Or there was like an errata needed, like there were so many erratas, right? So, I don't know. I'm remaining open-minded about, the changes and what's to come as far as the gameplay goes, which, again, I loved. Was always entertaining, always had a blast with. But ooh, Proctor Valley Monster, cool. First rip there right off the jump. right off the jump. And by the way, we're ripping some EV and HQ fun stuff here. They had that really cool deal going on with the Spellbooks for UFO, which I think it's still up, where you can get 5 of them for, oh shit, dropped those cards there. 5 of them for $15, which is pretty crazy. So I still need a couple cards in the UFO Master set, so yeah, I'm just going for it. Seven Thunders Reverse Hollow. Ripping some, seeing what we get. Having some fun here. Yeah, and changes, right? Talking about changes. What's coming to our beloved Metazoo. And yeah, the gameplay is going to change. It's coming, and as far as that goes and what to expect too, I mean, it made it seem like they have had a developed game ready to go and an IP, awaiting an IP to, put the game onto. And the way that they made it sound was Metazoo was that game, right? Ooh, the Loveland Rocket. Nice. Cool pull there. Actually, don't think I have that foil. So they made it sound like, yeah, they've had this game ready to deploy, and but what's interesting with GameCubator Labs and this new Meta 2 company, I mean, Richard Garfield is involved here, right? I mean, that's significant, of course, and I know he's had some crackpot games, and he's pushed quite a few out, which it makes me a little nervous, of course, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, like I can say is like I'm optimistic about something fun and cool and simple, and I have to trust that they're gonna deliver something fun, and maybe it'll be even better than the original Metazoo. So that's my thought. And by the way, White Stag is a top 5 beastie and card for me in Metazoo. I just really love it. I've got pretty much every version of it you could have, the playtester, the revived one. I just love that beastie. Also something that's changing, right? Big change is coming to the card layout and presentation and even how it looks. This is changing. Yes, the beloved pentagram, the occult imagery. Yeah, the card back is 100% changing, in my opinion. Of course, the text will remain. You'll notice that the new ownership, they announced, like, come join the Discord, which they purchased with the sale, and it has about 12,000 members at the time of this video. And this is what they really valued, the name, and specifically that text, right? They removed the Hello Kitty banner, and they just put that text up. And I think that shows that they put a lot of value in the name, in that text, and that brand recognition, interestingly enough. Because they bought this, Metazoo for $2 million, and it included a lot of product, a lot of inventory. A lot of these Cryptid Nation booster boxes from the Cryptid Nation block. I mean, so UFO, so much product, and Seance, and even very few boxes of Native, right? And then all the unreleased stuff, like the Ambassador promos and the Tower promos. I mean, I don't think that stuff's going to see the light of day now, given, the revamping and the gutting of the former Metazoo. So the gameplay is going to change, the card's going to change, the layout, the format, the back will definitely change. I think the red border sticks. I think that's uniquely Metazoo and something that is appealing. I've always been a fan of that, at least. But yeah, these traits right here, that's all going to go away and be simplified. I'm curious if the fourth walls, stick around, and the Terras, right? The fourth walls and the concept of your surroundings being important and influencing the outcome of the game. I love the Terras. I love the fourth walls. I hope some of that stuff sticks around, but maybe it doesn't. I wouldn't be surprised if they got rid of all of that. No Terras, no fourth walls, no pentagrams. And we'll probably see a different format. A lot of people don't like how this is laid out. Personally, I don't care, or I guess I don't mind it, love how these cards I love how they look and always have. So, but yeah, I think those changes are definitely coming. Definitely coming. Change is coming. What else is changing? The lore of Metazoo, which is always half-assed and subpar in my opinion, and as somebody who really is a storyteller and writer and, you know, loves story. Oh, by the way, I have this White Stag card too, which is the Snowing Terror from UFO, featuring a very, very cool hidden White Stag. I have the playtester one of that. Beautiful card. But yeah, the lore is changing, and Mike's writing and storytelling is always half-assed in my opinion. Ooh, cool, Gray's Reverse. This is a really cool one. I think a lot of people think this is a hard pull in UFO, and actually I do think I need that, so right on. Sick. And yeah, I thought Mike's storytelling was half-baked and more or less like a shonen ripoff, very heavily influenced by Naruto, and I think Sam Sinclair and Adam Hackler were in some kind of Naruto Sasuke type shonen arc, basically. And yeah, I mean, it's changing, even though I don't like Sam Sinclair, Rose Robinson, Adam Hackler. Like, those are original characters that are, you know, part of the IP and copyrighted, I would imagine. So they certainly could reuse them, but I don't think that'll be the case. I think everything will just change the lore, you know, completely. And, you know, honestly, I wouldn't really be surprised. Spirit Infusion suit there. I hate the artwork on this card. It kind of sucks. Like, look at this cheesy Goku ripoff. I wouldn't be surprised, like, if what they did, as far as this new base set goes and gameplay, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they took the old art that's already been released from Krypton Nation block and just slapped, you know, new card mechanics and layouts and gameplay on it. Or I'm also willing to bet what happens is they take the legacy set, which was supposedly, you know, ready to print and all completed, and they just take that set and slap new card text on it and just use that artwork. I really wouldn't be surprised if that's what we see happen. So, but I wouldn't necessarily be upset, although I would think that's a little low effort. And I know those of us who have stuck around for a long time would probably expect more. Ooh, that's cool. That just looks really nice. That foiling is really vibrant here on that static snowstone. Just checking for the foil if it was revert upside down, but no. You can kind of see that cool meteorite hollow there. That's wicked. So yeah, those things are coming to this. The changes, and I know a lot of people are really upset about the gameplay thing, and, you know, I was a player. I traveled for play, organized play. I went to LGSs to play as often as I could, and I played in some big regional Midwest tournaments, and I went to New York City for Earth Tower. So yeah, like, I have a lot of experience with the gameplay, and I have the experience of trying, like many of us who love Metazoo. And I wasn't a metazoologist, but I took the exam, or no, I was about to take it, but I just never did. But, you know, I tried to grow the gameplay in my local scene with some buddies, and I mean, it was a struggle getting people to play this game, right? Like, they either had some kind of preconceived notions. Oh wow, look at that, 2 packs in a row of static snowstone. So that is quite some clumping there, of course. But if you ever had the experience of trying to grow the gameplay, you know, for this game, you know, I think you would agree that it was difficult and not intuitive. Like, it wasn't simple and easy to get people to jump right into. It took so much looking at the rule book, and even after that the first couple times, people still look at the rule book all the time and stuff. And I don't know, it's just all the erratas, like trying to explain that to new players too. I mean, I think everybody can agree that games are best when they're simple and inviting to new players. So yeah, that's coming. As far as the art goes, oh gosh, and the aesthetic overall, I really hope that there was enough to keep the aesthetic, which I think is what draws so much people to Metazoo, that Sugimori watercolor aesthetic that we all seem to love. So I really hope they don't go away with that. I don't think they do. And as far as the artists themselves go, I do think they would be willing to bring them back, and I think most of them would come back. I remember when the sale was approved earlier in October, that Jet was jumped into Oasis, Argos' server, and shared some excitement and that she would be willing to come back to Metazoo Art Team. And I'm sure the rest of them would too, especially, if the money was right. Oh, there we go. There we go. Was that the last pack magic out of that Spellbook too? Let's freaking go. Oh man, dude, the artwork on this one is so freaking sick. Like, this is Mike Peckham's best art. And I really think that he was kind of one of the weaker Metazoo artists. Like, I would put him last in my personal rankings, but this artwork is really, really cool. I love the background, it's especially does some good justice to it. So yeah, I think so. Wow, sick, great pull there. I think some of them come back and will, but I wouldn't also be surprised if Meta 2 went with completely new art team. I don't know. That wouldn't really surprise me either. Yeah, and then I got one more thing to rip here and we'll wrap this video up. One of the Event HQ blisters, of course, Cryptonation First Edition. I watched Menace's, funny thing, I watched Menace's video, of course, and yeah, he freaking goes back to pull 50 back-to-back all hollow, full hollow CN1 blisters, and that was after he had jumped into Oasis and told everybody that, yeah, they're chock full of it, and he was expecting to pull all hollows, and he did, which was awesome. And so I got inspired by that, of course, and I went to rip, oh my god, I'm butchering open this blister. I'm so glad I'm not doing it on camera. So I went back to rip one myself, and I think I have 50 of them myself or something like that, like 40 or something, I don't know, something like that. And I went back to rip just one. I still have them all sealed. This will be the second one ripped here. And I pulled a reverse hollow, Lizard Man of War Swamp, which is just one of the lamest cards out of CN1, right? So just want to document this pull to see if it's a reverse hollow or not. Got a lovely purple Mothman blister. This one is a candidate for a 10 too. That's why I'm opening this pack, so I can maybe grade that guy there. I don't grade a lot of cards, but I really want like one of those for the PC. And here we go. Oh, I should do this on camera. Here we go. Ripping CN1 blister. Will it be a reverse hollow? The world may never know. Okay, here we go. Jersey Devil full hollow. Cool. Okay, so I can't prove Metis wrong today, but we'll rip the other ones on a video, I'm sure. Anyways, lots of changes coming, guys. I just encourage everybody to keep an open mind and, let's give it a chance and see what they deliver, right? Maybe the game will be better. Maybe the redesign, the reimagining of it will be something that we enjoy more. So, yeah, I'm staying optimistic through it and looking forward to what they come up with. So, yeah, cheers, guys. See you in the next one.